Singles, what is the best time to own your own property? Yes, this episode is dedicated for you singles out there. In the past, people were living in a generation where to most, getting married is like the ultimate goal in life. Things have changed since some of us are still single by choice. However, being a sole income earner, it does set our wealth and asset accumulation plan a little backwards compared to our married peers. But what if I told you there is an optimum age for us singles to buy a property? And when you're at this age, you are very likely to be in your best position in life to own a property. Do you not want to know when that time is? Hi, my name is Jooann, and you are watching another episode of House Hunt with Ju, where we simplify the buying, renting and selling of properties in Singapore, and maybe overseas, to get you one step closer to your next home. As we were saying, as compared to the norms of married couples living happily ever after at the cheery age of 20-something who can buy a BTO or resale flat, singles, we are almost always automatically excluded from the buying of HDB until the age of 35. By now, you would have heard stories about your married peers who are gloating over how much profit they have made since they have sold their BTO. Well, that's the price you pay for staying single and the price you want for getting married. Talk about an unfair advantage right there. But hey, single mothers, you must know that you do have a way around this. That said, we can only turn to private property market to buy our first home, and the bigger challenge will be how to afford the property based on a single income stream. Unless your parents are rich, or if you have a huge trust fund to live off, or your father's surname is Lim, or all of the above. Otherwise, you're pretty much in the same boat as me. Here, I'm going to give you a really quick example. Imagine you are living loan-free without any kind of debt. A couple can make around $10,000 a month, and you can safely afford a $1.6 million home with 75% bank loan to valuation in place. But if you're single and only making half of that a month, it's almost as though it's Great Singapore Sale, 50% discount. Your price affordability naturally shrinks to under $1 million. But oh wait, what if you're self-employed? Learn from me, stay with your parents and leech off them. There's totally no shame in that. So if you're single, at which point in your life will you be able to find that sweet spot? In a bid to find the optimal age to own a property, I will be analysing the median salary of full-time employed Singaporeans and the most affordable monthly repayments you can make on your first home. In essence, we are trying to find the sweetest balance between loan tenure and your ability to earn. First off, let's take into consideration a report by MOM last year on the labour force in Singapore. I managed to extract some figures on the average gross monthly salaries earned in Singapore. And looking at the numbers and the earlier example of being able to afford your first property, those of you between 30 to 34 years old who are making in and around the $4,500 mark will be able to possibly afford a $1.6 million property as a couple or just under $1 million as a single person. This is also the time where your median salary continues to grow at least 5 to 10% year on year until of course you reach 40, where your career starts to peak and so does your salary. The sad reality is that we do see a curve downwards the moment you hit 45 and beyond, and it is proven that you may not earn as much as you did in your prime years. So waiting may not always be the right strategy to this. But then the bigger problem is this. MAS caps the maximum loan tenure to 35 years for private property transactions depending on the sector you are working in. Let's put this into context. When you're young and have all this time ahead of you, you probably don't have the affordability. But come the time you have the affordability, you may not have the youth to fully maximize your bank loan tenure. Hence, the sweetest spot for owning your first property would be between 30 to 34 years of age, whereby you're most likely to be able to afford the home that you really want without sacrificing the loan tenure, meaning to say you have at least 30 years of bank loan to work on with private properties. But you know what? If by 34 you still can't buy your first private property, don't worry, next year you can buy HDB already. The government is not so bad after all. Home ownership can still be made possible with age. But if we do go beyond 40s and wait until such time our salaries peak, the trade-off will be paying even higher loan repayments given a shorter loan tenure. Of course, the assumptions are fairly conservative, and to be honest, the numbers I'm getting on the median salary here are a lot lower than what I know my peers are making. Figuratively, I have come across many individuals who do not rely on bank loans to buy their first property as well. The good news is, yeah, you may be able to afford something bigger than a one-bedroom with greater affordability. But the bad news is that you will experience what I call a salary decay as you age past your prime, regardless of your accreditations and achievements. So if you're still watching this, it is likely that you're in this sweet spot of owning your first property and you should start your financial planning now. Should all the above calculations confuse you, why not scan this barcode to make an appointment on a non-obligatory 30-minute Zoom session on how you can prepare yourself on your first home purchase. My name is Jooann and I'm here to finally put my background in finance and accounting to better use just for you. And if you have reached 40 and beyond, don't fret. You can still reach out to me and I can better assess how to get you up to speed. Like, subscribe and comment below on what your biggest challenge are as a 30-something-year-old trying to own your first property in Singapore. And I may be able to relate. Till next time, I'll see you on the next episode of House Hunt with Ju.